Hi, I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben.
And we're Autosave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Mushoku Tensei, Season 1, Episode 3. I have questions. Some being, are we gonna see Roxy anytime soon again? We've graduated. We've become a saint-level water mage.
We didn't need our master anymore.
Yeah. We got some drops about a college. That's another one of my questions. Are we going to be going to the University of Magic, located in Renoa?
Is our time skip going to, if there is one, going to be when Rudy is 15 and an adult, and that's when he can go to this university? Or, you know, since he's such a little prodigy, maybe he'll get to go sooner.
Will Rudy have siblings? That was alluded to
Sisters.
And potentially
He
foreshadowed. I'm a little worried about where that could potentially go. Another question of mine is, will we see more of Rudy's backstory in previous life anytime soon? Because that hit me in a more serious way than I thought that the show was going to be, going. And I really enjoyed it.
Right. They kind of like put it out there, and now I guess we'll just see how much of a theme that is. How many times does Rudy's past life actually come back to haunt him? Or is that, setting the tone of, okay, well, that was his past, and now you know it as the viewer, and now we're just gonna go have fun in our fantasy world with magic.
I have a couple more questions. Is Lilia a demon? We know that she seems to be some sort of maid or housekeeper for the family. I thought that since we got the introduction of demons and then the term of Superds, the whole green hair with red gems, I thought that could be an interesting point.
There's something about fun hair colors seems to maybe be kind of iconic of non-humans, maybe. But I'm not sure if that was a natural red that they were going for or not.
Not really sure. Can you dye your hair? Does hair dye exist in this world?
Hair dye exists.
But my most pressing question is, how is Caravaggio doing? I know that Rudy had a lot of trauma in his past life, but
Caravaggio now also has trauma.
In the same life. He has two lives in one at this point, and after being brought back from the brink of death or death itself after a traumatizing strike of lightning and then being put into a protective dome with Roxy. What is Caravaggio thinking? Did Caravaggio reincarnate into another life for 30 seconds and then get brought back? What if that happens to Rudy?
What is that going to tell us, or what can we get from that as whatever the severity of life or death or injury is going to be in the show? We have healers, we have mages. Could they bring someone back to life?
Good
Caravaggio
question.
being brought back from the brink of death, as we said.
These are my questions.
Those
Will I get answers?
I hope so.
Ready? Mm-hmm. Sweet.
I like that we got different lines there.
I keep waiting for like an intro.
Yeah. I thought maybe the outro from last episode. Father like son, honestly.
This must be right after.
Look, they're so happy. Yeah, he's like 5 now, so you have nothing to be worried about. Is that the first time that we got a last name?
Oh my gosh.
How about just one?
It's a nice song.
Mm-hmm. I like that we're getting it on top of him really getting to travel around his town.
Wow.
Hope we don't run into any low-level monsters.
He can handle them.
I know, I hope we do. Just so I can see it. Was that his birthday gift from his mom?
Maybe. I wonder if he's learning, like, what's poisonous, what isn't, what can be used for, like, medicine, you know, food.
He might be an herbalist and a mage.
Oh, that's cute. With his little staff. Red-haired girl from the outro?
Oh, I hope it's red hair. Or it's green hair and red gem.
Oh. Green hair.
Green hair. Red eyes. Oh no.
It's red gem on the forehead. Oh my god.
She's about to kill your whole family, little boy. Oh, forehead. Show it off.
Are the red gems the eyes? It's like a hair dryer. I wonder if they can, like, interbreed, you know? Half elf.
Then I bet the mom was.
It's totally a guy, right?
I think so. We need hair dye in this world. I love elf ears. I love them so much.
It's gonna be like Sylphia or something.
The water balls?
Is he gonna have students already?
He's the master now. The student becomes the teacher.
Like
the ears
like,
wiggled. Oh! Yeah, Soph was right. They look nothing like their parents. That's what he meant by holy relic.
Oh. What the fuck is happening? Wow. I don't want him to feel like a bad father, though.
Almost relieved he did something. He was extra hard on him. Oh my gosh.
Huh.
You know, that
I don't blame her.
that makes a lot of sense.
I love like the common uses of the magic. Using his like wand too. 6 months. Oh, the combination of elements.
Is that even possible to teach someone how to do that?
Good question.
Cute. No.
She's gonna do it.
Sylph can do it.
He's gonna do it.
Sylph, I hear water.
We're like building our team. Our adventurers team. The reveal has to come, right? Soon.
Yep, this is where we
The bath
figure
is
it out.
ready for you. Oh no.
He's naked in front. Oh, so dense.
Dude, Rudy.
That you fucked up?
Sylphia.
She might be a little offended if you say that you thought she was a boy, but...
I genuinely thought you were a boy. Like... Same.
Well, honesty's the best policy.
Yeah.
She'll forgive you later more because you were honest, probably. I need my Fire Emblem character, mage with a sword. Just ask me again if that doesn't work.
Paul is trying his darndest, you know, to be a good father.
He doesn't want to be like his old man.
The tone of his voice, you know?
Cherish your friend I made in this new world. Oh, Paul.
Paul. Okay, that was Mushoku Tensei, Season 1, Episode 3. That was probably the most, like, slice of life episode we've gotten.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'd say.
It didn't have the mood that last episode had, the additions of some of the past life being kind of threaded in there in terms of showing of trauma.
Yeah. I enjoyed it a lot, though. It was like, it was very, like, I could just sit back and hang out and watch, you know, like an anime for fun without, you know, thinking too deep about anything and just enjoying what's being given to me.
And it made a lot of sense from the jumping off point from the end of last episode where we ended on this high note. Rudy was feeling really good about himself. He was feeling healed. And all thanks to Roxy, and he really respected Roxy. She was leaving, was gonna miss her, but then we start this episode off and he's like, I am ready to get out of here and go into town and make friends and like stand up for people and be strong. And it was like so nice to see.
It's interesting because like how he handled the bullying situation, there wasn't enough inner monologue for me to be like, oh, he's being very intellectual and deliberate about what he's doing. Because he does think that way for some things, you know? But what he did, like what his actions were very, like, good and righteous and, like, what me as a viewer would deem is like correct in that situation. You're getting bullied 3v1, people are throwing like rocks at you, like this girl for nothing. Then you come over, you're not like beating them up, you're just throwing water at them.
You're throwing water at them. So that has like 2 points I want to bring up. One, did one of the friends just punch the kid so there was an actual bruise? Because I'm like, did that water really actually bruise that kid in such a visible way?
Maybe his mom hit him to discipline him for getting beat up by
Paul's son, and wanted a reason to be able to go to Paul's house. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't put it past these bullies that maybe they wanted to go complain and they wanted to get Rudy in trouble, so then they made it look like Rudy had actually, because they walk away.
Yeah.
You know, they walk away.
Yeah.
Like,
and we know they didn't stop messing with him.
Not very injured, it seems. The other thing that I liked what you said was, and now I need to remember what it was again. I was saying, like,
there are some times through Rudy's character so far, he's doing right things, but without...
He tries to... What I was going to go for was this idea that he tries, with his consciousness of this person with a previous life, to formulaically say things to get a certain response, or what he thinks he should say in these situations from, you know, lived experience. He thinks that he can appear as a good kid and say the right things to his parents. And it's funny because we get that in this episode, this kind of confidence that, like, I know how to play this. I play dating sims, you know? And then we realize towards the end of the episode that he actually doesn't know truly how to talk to people or the intricacies and complexities of like real true connection with people.
Yeah.
Like, Sylph isn't just a character in a game and you have 3 choices of what to say to her, you know? You gotta, and she's not just a computer character. She is a person who is going to feel in ways that might be unpredictable for Rudy.
Whether Rudy has thought about it or not, and I'm gonna lean with not thinking about it, he has already taken steps to stop the creation of himself in another person. He has stopped what caused him to become such a isolated, morally fucked up, potentially person, you know? He sees what drove him down a path where he decided to make choices that, you know, put him where he was, and sees that a lot of it seemed to stem from bullying at first, and he saw someone else being bullied and immediately,
for that person. It's like the first episode, the line we were left with that I absolutely loved and probably said too many times last episode was that he was going to get serious about living.
Yeah.
Meaning he wanted to live a good, authentic, happy life since he was given the chance, you know, to start over in this really awesome, magical world with powers. And he can take his past experience and his past trauma, and he can heal from it, and he can also use it to see, like, I don't want to live that way again. I want to make sure I have a happy life. I have friends, people to care
but he
for.
doesn't. You know, like, his actions may be proceeding that way, but knowing how much monologue is given in morally worse situations, then it makes me believe the reason he's doing these things is not as well thought out as, you know, like to give him credit for them.
Do you think the monologuing might trickle? You know, that maybe it's going to be really heavy as this is this consciousness in this new world, getting used to it, still with a lot of the baggage and kind of ways of thinking of the previous person.
Yeah.
And as the life progresses and as connections are made, that we might hear that monologuing less and less.
Or maybe less and less. Maybe the monologuing will start delving into more serious matters that don't, you know, pertain to like being like perverted. Like, I feel like most of the time we hear the monologue here, it's either, when I say perverted, actually, that was a really bad choice of words, because I don't mean it in the fan servicey type of way alone. I mean perverted as in perverted intentions.
Like manipulative, maybe?
Yeah, manipulative. And using your past knowledge to, like...
outsmart your parents? You know, like, you're an adult, was what he said to Paul. It's like, oh, is that how adults are?
Yeah, but he also had the line of, like, this isn't going to help Paul either. They're being very deliberate.
Which a 5-year-old truly would not be like, what could I say? It's almost like he was thinking of Paul as the true victim in this scenario, and that he needed to help Paul out to understand the situation, because Paul would be the one that suffers in the end.
Well, obviously, I know Paul just, like, smacked his kid, but in a lot of ways, like, I wrote down in the moment while it was still going on, neither of them are right, but Paul, in a lot of ways, is somebody who can never win. The best Rudy is trying to do for Paul, I think, is somehow give him the illusion of winning and give him the illusion of being a good parent at the end of the day. And that's not morally, like, the most righteous route, right? The most righteous route could potentially be, like, coming clean. But, like, that's not an option. What are you going to do with that? Like, what?
Paul, I am actually a 34-year-old, and I
am older than you are.
Like, I am older than you are, and I used my wisdom to kind of force your hand into an apology when you were disciplining me. I don't know.
Honestly, though, it's really compelling. I'm finding myself, like, really enjoying the dialogue, though, and the back and forth, and, like,
I love, like, Paul and Rudy specifically, their back and forth. It's it is interesting that this, like, 5-year-old somewhat teaching his father, I guess, how to properly parent, or in Rudy's eyes, properly parent, because obviously it would be biased to what Rudy thinks Paul should be doing.
Rudy also had a line of like, oh, you have no chance of winning at this. This is like what I'm used to doing in my previous life.
Yeah, so like cocky.
But then he said,
no parental love.
But then he said, although in this time I am completely in the right, and that, like, in the actuality of the situation, which makes me worried that there have been previous times he has used the same method when he wasn't actually in the right to be able to get what he wanted, you know?
I could see it. I mean, especially if we're going this, like, way of, like, a dating sim, you don't necessarily pick the answers that you would actually pick as a person. You pick the answers that you think would manipulate the correct path or response with that character in the dating sim.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, some people probably play it authentically, but, like...
Yeah, I don't know who those people would be, though. That's weird.
I like to have control of things.
Yeah, me too. But anyway, I really liked, to go back a little bit, back to Sylphiette.
Mm-hmm. Sylphie.
Do you think that she is half superb?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I did think it was funny that she was like, my parents, I don't look like either of them. And then we saw her parents and she really truly didn't.
Well, she has the half elf in her.
The half elf, but I'm like...
A different mother, perhaps, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna go a different father, but I think the father was the elf and the mom wasn't.
Correct.
So then that, like, complicates things.
Yeah.
But I'm in love with the elf ears. I also love the, like, curl of the hair right behind her ears. I'm like, the design is so good. I don't want Sylph to grow Sylph's hair out. Thank you.
Sylph doesn't want to grow Sylph's hair out.
And I'm like,
I like
power
when
to
the
you.
ears wiggled, like it was
know.
in what's that witch movie, Bewitched or whatever.
Yeah, like the little nose wiggle.
Yeah, that was cute. I wonder, like, I make the correlation of the red gems being the eyes.
I mean, we were told it by Roxy as somewhat of a folklore.
Yeah.
Of sorts, and we got this imagery of actual, like, folklore or mystery or, I don't know, what would you call it? A story from the past?
They're like legends,
legends,
right? Or,
That's the word. Thank you.
I don't even know if it is a legend, though, because it seems to be, like, so closely based in... It's like an exaggerated, potentially exaggerated event from history that has grown into, like, a nightmare monster that maybe it isn't.
I was going, like, they were using a visual reference to us, the viewers, of a legend existing in our world.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really love the casual use of magic so far, and especially in this episode.
The
It was the first
blow
time I saw
dryer.
it. The blow dryer was
dryer.
amazing.
Using the water and then the fire.
Him like putting air on his stomach too to, I think, cool down or whatever. Like, I was like, this is amazing. I love it.
Awesome.
So what do you think it means for Sylph that they can also use magic without incantations? Is that a Sylph thing? Is that a
further evidence of Sylph actually being this race of demons?
Or can anyone do it?
Either Rudy is an amazing teacher and really put how to do it into words. You know, like, he was worried, like, how do I describe to someone what I do so, like, naturally into words for them to replicate? And I'm like, either he's an amazing teacher already, or I think we could go a place like that's evidence that Sylph is superb.
Yeah.
The one demon that Roxy was like, stay away from, they'll kill your whole family. Because if you go, they'll kill your whole family, it could do that, you know, takes you in the segue of mass destruction, which could also go with the fact that Sylph learned really quickly and was really strong with the magic, and also doesn't have to do incantations. So maybe they're just like a really fearsome foe.
Yeah. A lot of this episode, based on their, like, nudity humor, reminded me of original Dragon Ball and how they handled it. And it's an interesting...
I've only seen episode 1 of original Dragon Ball.
Yeah?
But you have told me stories
of
some of the scenes.
I think that you are able to up comedy in a story and get away with more if the character who is doing these things that is, like, you know, reprehensible don't realize what they're doing is wrong.
Okay.
And, you know, they are... It's still, like, obviously the most, like, saturated degree here, but it was genuinely, he didn't know.
And it's interesting to have that in, like, this dynamic with a character who does, you know, have a holy relic in their room.
Yeah.
And that truly in this moment, there is an innocence here.
Yeah. Agreed. We got the name, the last name, the surname. Greyrat.
Greyrat, yeah.
Greyrat, I think. Did you say Greyheart?
Yeah, but
that's
I think it's
more noble.
Greyrat, yeah. Greyrat does not. Maybe I wanted it to be Greyheart because it sounds like the knight that's protecting this village. But, you know, rats are plentiful and...
I have a question for you.
Intimidating.
Do you go... Are you a knight that's sent to a village to protect it from low-level monsters as a reward or a punishment? or neither.
Oh, I like that. I like going that possible route of like you're demoted and you're not going to be on like the front lines actually like doing something like awarded with lots of like fame and money or like high prestigious positions. You're like, hey, go to this little village over there and protect them from low level monsters. Because Roxy told us there's only going to be like really low level monsters around.
Or you've earned your freedom, like by doing a certain act, or like, doing something righteous or noble.
You've earned a peaceful life.
Yeah.
Almost.
That's where you can settle down.
Where you could settle down in safety and start a family while still have a financial means to support you. I'm sure he gets some type of payment from the village for this protection. And obviously the women of the village like to make up any excuse to come visit him. Probably because of the cuffs on his ears, the gold cuff earrings. That's probably one of the main reasons that they want to see him. One of the draws to him, yeah.
I have to say, the more I look at Lilia's hair, the more I'm like, that's not just like a slight red. It seems like it's like I don't know. I could see Lilia being a demon.
I am still torn because I feel like they could be trying to say that's a natural hair color.
Yeah.
But I also am thinking that it's a possibility because why? Either Lilia reacted to Sylph walking in because Lilia realized Sylph was a girl, or Lilia reacted to Sylph because of how Sylph looks. So I'm like, maybe there's something there, but I'm thinking Lilia probably might have suspected, like, is Rudy's friend a girl?
Yeah.
As Rudy was walking upstairs.
I love the art style in this show. It reminds me of what I imagine, like, if The Legend of Zelda had, like, an actual anime series nowadays fleshed out. You know what I mean?
I could see that.
But I'm actually really enjoying the show so far.
Am too.
And I think that default, especially based off of the shows that we've been recently watching too.
It's very different.
I tend to go into this mindset of like trying to be serious and breaking down things, and I don't know if that's entertaining or if that's fun.
If that's a good watching and viewing experience for this show.
But at the end of the day, like, that's where my brain goes sometimes, and regardless of that, like, I'm having a blast so far. 3 episodes
having a good time. I am also having a good time, hence why I wore somewhat yellow, which I think is, like, my reference color for this show. I tried to, I was like, I made a thumbnail earlier, and I was like, I'm gonna match the show's energy a little bit. I think I probably have, like, one more thing that I'd like to say, which is kind of something. I don't know how many things you have.
Oh, just one, too, so you can go
first.
Whoa,
yeah. Okay, cool. I timed that perfectly. I just wanted to say that I know we're not sure necessarily all of the time if Rudy's language choices and the way that Rudy speaks to people, if they're all innocent or if some of them are slightly manipulative, maybe. Because of past experience and past knowledge. But I would like to say that I have been really liking some of the word choices in reference to making connections specifically to female characters in this show. With Roxy, we got this, how much he respected Roxy. I'm just talking about word choices and dialogue. No, like, hidden other things. No, yeah, but then he has a holy relic in his room. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm purely just talking about words. I liked that there was respect in the language, and then when he was talking about Sylph's friendship, he used the word cherish. And so I'm really liking and hoping that that is, like, a true feeling of Rudy's, that since it was a monologue and not words he was saying to another person at the time, that is truly how he feels, that he wants to cherish this relationship and this connection that he's making currently in his new life.
I take it as real in the sense of him wanting to make this new life something to be, like, this is his chance.
Proud of, happy with, to enjoy and to really get to, like, one of the best parts of life is to find, like, connection.
Yeah, you're right.
And have those personal relationships that obviously we know this character was lacking, both from friendship and romantic. This is his do-over. I think he's learning a lot about himself.
Yeah. The only thing I wanted to say is this show sucks. No Caravaggio. L. Never watching it again. I'm kidding. But fun. Good show.
Fun.
Rudy's choice of words, especially describing his own dick, and like his word choice. And
he thought that Sylph was just really embarrassed by their bottom half.
The consistency in the character writing is something to be appreciated, you know? Like in the inner monologue and the changing.
I also knew that, you know, what should he have said to Sylph? Because I had said during the episode, oh, just tell her that you thought she was a boy. And that was my first thought. But I obviously, that was somewhat maybe not the best way to phrase it, because she cried and then she left and he didn't see her for a while.
I think it 100% was the right decision to...
I mean, I always say honesty is the best policy, so...
And it, like, got his intention across to show that he wasn't being malicious or, you know...
Yeah, he wasn't... Yeah.
For the first time in the show, he wasn't trying to be, you know? Like...
So, I mean, hopefully his friendship with Sylph, now that he does know, continues on a certain path. I don't know if it will, but obviously this adds some element in there that I don't know. I don't even know what I'm going to say. He had a childhood friend that was a girl, and apparently she's married now.
Yeah?
That's what he said.
Oh, that was true. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I like how, like, even in bath time, he doesn't take off the necklace Roxy gave him.
I thought that was the holy relic when he said holy relic, and then I learned differently.
All right, that's all I have you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.
Doesn't the book kind of look like the Enchiridion from Adventure Time?